Hi, how are you? If you are looking for a personal loan online, then immediately watch this video because I need to one of the most my own life and through a lot of research. I found a few that are worth considering that I want to share with you guys. So in this video, I'll be covering the process and the constant of the each of the different personal loan companies so that you can know for yourself it about getting one or not. And if you just found this channel, I am Fayaz with Honest Finance, and I make a lot of videos on the different topics that will give your life and your finance more value. So feel free to subscribe if you want to do. But now let's just start talking about a personal loan. Before I start talking about all different loan companies, I want to need you need money, uh, debit cons, return, and home improvement or medical bills. Then I would definitely consider looking into a personal loan. They are not an excuse for not saving up to for the expense. But sometimes you might need to a lot of money faster other choice than to look into different personal loans, so that I could actually get the job done in time, and there's a ton of thing that qualify for personal loan. But please just be responsible with them because they are not the cheapest loan, and only want to you look for them. If you have no and other choice, trust me, getting out of credit card debit and probably must for rewarding, and they have a better financing than a personal loan would you then just obviously go to with their wedding company instant because that's in your best interest. Now if you search for best personal loan on the internet, if you are going to find 15 different company all compete for the business and your business, and the most and to be most honest, a lot of big companies don't even have the many to choose from. But I find different thing that you can look through a research I noticed, and a lot of got 20,000 loan with a 5% organization fee. Then you are instantly just going to be losing $100. And what thing made are the lot of lenders, but that don't charge organization fees, and those are the only ones thing that I am going to be talking about. So charge organization fees, so just was the out of our here, and then if anything out there. So I want you guys to be our and that they do excited, and they pretty on discarding them 100% because they are just fishing for information and they are not real. I'll try my best to deliver all of instruction. Now finally here the top personal loan companies I recommended looking into through, and thank you so much being the patience, and kindly subscribe my channel, and let's talk. So our first lender of my list on personal loans is called Marcus by Goldman Sachs, and they have a really good personal loans. Marcus advertises that they don't charge any fees, and on the top of that, they have currently got rates that start just under 7 month. Sorry, under 7%, and they go all the way to 25%, and they'll let me to borrow about 30 and for $5,000, and they you can pay them back between 30 to 72 months. which is really good. Marcus does require you to select a purpose for the loan, which is totally normal, but they have got a lot of choose from. Just keep the mind and that with the personal loan every single category is going to have a different rate, because you can't expect medical bills to have the same rates as a vacation, but usually they are going to be pretty close to each other. And just keep the mind that it different the bit of prime rate and different factor that like, but honestly they don't change that much over a few years. So most of the information should stay pretty accurate for long. And now obviously you have got have a really good credit and to qualify for the base rate with Marcus, but just keep in the mind that they do accept fair credit application as well. So if your credit not that good, then Marcus is a pretty good loan to look. So if you want to get personal loan with credit, they definitely recommending going to accept your application. If you are got bad credit, then that's why Marcus can come and handle it. But just keep in mind that they do have rate that are as high as 25%, which is really good and highly. So if your personal loan, debit, consumer loan, home improvement loans, Marcus pay and most of loans managing here. So definitely work with your credit card and going to do had the most credit card personal loans personal application. If you can always apply and just see what you qualify for, but the end of the day bad credit is always going to costly you way too much in interest. And then just you have so our Marcus also has a saving account but actually pays more than 2%, sorry. So that's it. So our next list in the loans of Suntrust. So and they are one of the best loan companies out of there. If you are looking for something over 5,000, and they are owned by Suntrust Bank and in Light Stream, it's the same company that I have a personal loan with. And because at the end of the day they have the best rates, and that's kind of the biggest deal with it point of comparable loan. So that way you'll always be able to get the best rates with the light stream loans out of all of competition. So and then on top that they have got a huge selection of personal loans to choose from as well. So their personal loans, so improve home improvement, skill home improvement, study, student loan information, and home equality aligned to credit debit consultation. So auto loans and again loans, other loans. So all kind of personal loan with rates that started about and then on top of that you have got a huge selection of personal loans to choose from as well. Lightstream offer all kind of loans, so that way you'll always be able to get the best rates with Lightstream loans. Out of all, Lightstream offer all kind of personal loans with rates that started about 6% and go to 17%. So with the auto pay, which is really good. Their loans range from 5,000 all over the 1,000, sorry, 100,000 dollar. So which is the most I have ever seen for my personal loan, and then understand through that the rates and the terms all fluent based on a few different things. They are always going to be based on how much you are borrowing to the length of the loan, and then what you are using for the loan. So that not like to you can borrow a really good credit, which is one of the main reason that rate and terms are so good. So just keep that mind. Lightstream also has a lot of auto loans too. So if you're looking for a new car and or want to refinance and then I definitely check them idea of the upgrades and term of before you actually have to apply for the loan. So basically, if you want to get a debit ideas and considering a loan with them, then you will actually to be able to see kind of what you are going to be paying before actually have to pay apply. Obviously it's just a ballpark rate, but at least you can see what you can assure and accept to pay based on have to apply. So but even you choose to pay back of the loan over 30 months, and their rate all is still competitive, and if you click through it, but just keep in mind that live stream loans has a ton of really good personal loan to choose from, and I am never going to recommend something that I don't think is the best value for you guys. And if you made it the best into the video, you can please comment down below and just say I'm still here, okay? And then that way I can still see who watching the video. Thank you. So our next list of so our next list of the last bank is 3D Bank, and the rates are really competitive, and they have a lot of short loan option to choose from, which is good if you just want to get a little bit money and pay it back over a short amount of time. But if you want to have a lower monthly payments with TD Bank, but by extending the loan, that's not going to happen. But TD Bank is the most of rates best rate, and they have a most of loans to choose from. But you have got the good credit if you are going to with them. They are also bit of quantity road and the rates. So overall they are differently my number of one choice if you are looking for a personal loan. And then the reason of that TD loans is made my list of because they have a wide variant of loans to choose from, and then their payback terms are always wide as well, and then they always accept fair credit applications as well. So if your credit not be very good, then definitely look into the TD for personal loans. So because you might actually get one of them, and credit keep your mind that if you do want to apply for a loan with them, they are not available in every single state. So just be aware that way. Now my last word of advice is to take sure that you apply with a few different loan companies before you actually go with one specific company. their rates can fluently a lot of based on the company that's you are going with. So definitely check a few different companies, because at the end of the day your personal loan rate is the what's going to cost your most money when it comes in to interest. I applied with a few different companies before I went to a light stream, because I just wanted to see what they could offer, so that I could make sure that I was getting the best value in whomever I was going to with it. So at the end of the day, you got a mag choose as to who want to go with a for personal loan. But hopefully this video can help you make better decision on who is one or want to you go with. Once again, I am a Faiz with honest finance, and I make a lot of videos on different topic, and that all give you your life. So your finance more value. So feel free subscribe if you guys want to, or just keep this video like that all. Thank you. And then the reason that TD loans made a list of is because they have a wide variant of the loan to choose from, and their payback terms are also wide as well. And they and then they also accept fair credit application as well. So if your credits not very good, then definitely look into the TD for a personal loan, because you might actually get in the with them. And keep in mind that if you do want to apply for a loan with them, they are not available in the every single state. So just to avoid that, now I am last word to advise is to sure that you apply with a few different loan companies before you actually go with one of the specific company. Their rates can fluctuate a lot based on the company that you are going to with. So definitely check a few different companies, because at the end of the day your personal loan rate is what's going to cost you and the most of money when it comes to interest. So I have played with few back companies before I want to light stream, because I just want to see what they would offer me, so that I could make sure that I was getting the best value on whomever I was going to with it. Okay, so once again, I am Faiz with honest finance, and I make a lot of videos and different topics that I'll give your life and your finance more value. So feel free to subscribe if you guys want to, or just keep this video. And thank you. Bye bye. Tata. See you next time or next